I think it's official. Welcome, welcome. Just great to be back. It's great to feel good enough to be able to do this. So thank you all for your patience from last week. And we're just going to have some sewing fun. If that works for you, that works for us. Many years ago, I was crazy nervous about making a blouse. And I'll never forget I had an opportunity to go to a factory and watch a blouse being made. And I remember that just changed completely everything for me. I thought, I can do that. I can do that. I can do that stuff. I just kind of went down the line. I can do all that. I can do that. They were good, don't get me wrong, but I thought I could do that. And so one of our goals this year is to do a little more sew-alongs. I think if you see it being done, you'll be similar to what I was. I can do that. So we're going to do some sew-alongs and try to do more along the year. That doesn't mean every time, but we'll see what we can do. The guys have been working long and hard on technology, and we've got two cameras going, and you guys have had many suggestions over the times, and we appreciate that. And so we're going to see what we can do. Now with this, this is the PoM for January. It's Mary's Wrap. Number 65, PoM is Mary's Wrap. It's one of our PBS patterns. And it has a shawl collar. So some of you can sew a shawl collar no problem, and some of you are just scared to death of a shawl collar. So we've got the camera just literally like at my chest and between my legs, and I'm going to sew around this camera. So it's going to be really fun and really exciting, and I hope you all stay tuned. Also, over the holidays, some of the things that we had happen is we had a sweet customer who we had a black book special, and she bought the black book, and she had bought some others, so she sent us some videos, and so we're going to give those away. So I mentioned that at the beginning because if you're not logged in to YouTube is what you have to be logged into. Now this is only for those watching live, you guys. I know after the fact it's not. It's only for those live viewers. We have two videos we're going to give away. One is called 20 Pattern Sewing Myth Corrected, and one is then our $50 DVD, which is basic pattern making. So some pretty good deals, and we'll give these away. And I can't remember, I should have asked her if she wanted her name said or not, but I'll just say thank you, Nancy. How's that? And no one else will know the rest. All right, so then I wanted to show you a couple of options. I made 3 different options, just fun things because of some of the things I have seen shopping over the holidays. I think I have so many ideas busting out of my head that I think I'm going to implode any minute now. There's just so many beautiful things out there, and it's just a lot of fun. And I know for those of you who say I'm your shopping person, I'm sorry because you've missed so much. But you know, we are on Instagram now, and I've been trying to take pictures of the colors or the trends or what's coming up for spring. Those are the things I do on Instagram. I don't do them tons because we're all busy. But if you're an Instagram person and you want to follow along, we're under Silhouette Patterns, just so that you know that. This one right here, we showed it in a picture. This one is, I forgot my fabric numbers. I'm going to cheat over here just one second. All right. Sorry, it's because you guys are always asking me the numbers if I don't give them to you. 2112. It's called the Holiday Animal ITY, and then it's got these coconut buttons. These coconut buttons are amazing. They go with everything. Now what I do is I just put a little snap under the button because they're large, and that way you can, if you wear it open, the snap looks great, and then if you wear it closed, you can do that as well, and keep it closed on you. So the snap under the button. You sew the button on first and then the snap because you can't get through the middle of the button if you don't. It just makes a great switch up, those large buttons. Tonight, the fabric I'm going to use a large black button. It's the same as this one. I'm going to show you a garment. It's from Acris. I was at Neiman Marcus and I was playing around and shopping, and I think that is photo number 1, maybe. That's the back. Let's show the front first. So this is Mary's Wrap. This is what we're doing. They're just wearing it open. No, it doesn't have a collar. but I like our collar a little bit better than what this is. This looks a little less to me. Now this is a cashmere, and so the price point obviously is going to be higher, but you wouldn't think it'd be that much higher. I think the price point on that, I can't see it, but you guys probably can see it on your...
It's
$1,200. You can probably see it on your screens, or you can make it a little bit larger, but I kept the price on there so you could see it. And all they've done is cut that longer, so I did that with this. This is this fabric is 2218, the linear. So anytime you have a linear like this, you know, you want to play with those stripes. And the goal was for me on this one is I'm going to wear this up like a little cowl, this one like this, and you get the full effect of the linear. So what I did with this is I actually cut it longer, and then I cut it 4 inches longer than the pattern, and then I separated the lines right under the French dart. So right where the French dart comes down the side seam, that's where I made the break. So this bottom panel here is about 8 inches wide, and then in proportion to the top. So just a fun alternative, a play with stripes. I've said it so many times, but just stripes are everywhere for spring. They just won't go away. Stripes and animal prints. So if you're sick of them, I'm sorry, because they're just everywhere. So hopefully you'll get a little whatever to get rid of, to like them again. I'm not sure how you do that, but you do. The one I have on is 2105, and we had a sale yesterday on fabrics. It was those microfibers that are beautiful. They're beautiful. All the way down to $7.99. I left them up because tonight this one is the one I have on. And I didn't feel like it was fair to put them on and then take them right back up as soon as I showed you. So I left them down. But what I wanted to show you with this is I just made a vest. Just the 2 pieces, just the front, the back. Didn't do any changes. I did it just like it is. Those microfibers have beautiful selvages. And so I put the selvage at the bottom of this. The other thing I would have done if I'd cut half a second longer is I would have made it long. Like just a long duster almost vest with then a shorter underneath. I did a longer, and then the vest comes in shorter. So I know you can't see in the back, but it's actually shorter than I've got some jean leggings on, just a black top that's longer than the vest, and then of course the vest. And it just makes a really nice layered, easy garment. All right, so this one's cut as is. This one's cut a little bit longer. This one, excuse me, is a woven. No sleeves, just the 2 pieces. And then tonight we're going to do a fabric, and I put all these fabrics up specifically for this top. That whole front page, I think, is a lot of ITYs. And this one is the 2216. Love this animal print. Just really a really cool color. And of course, anytime you give me black and white, you can just might as well write me a ticket home, because I will love it at that point. All right. Okay, so we are going to start sewing this tonight, and I'm going to step behind the camera. Can we answer any questions? Everybody back, and I know you had wonderful holidays. We all had great holidays. It was not too bad of weather. Now is even worse than it was a little while ago. Now the flu's getting around. Hope everybody stays home and gets well. Any questions? Are we good to start going?
No questions.
Okay, so you will cue me, please, if you don't mind, as to when's a good time to give these.
You can do one now.
You want to do one now?
Sure.
Okay, let's do one now. Then we'll take a break during sewing. We want to get sewing. We don't want to keep you later than 9. We don't want to keep us later than 9. So they said, can you do this? And I said, yes, I can. So this is a real test. We were late, so we can go a little past 9 now here. Okay. All right. So we're going to do the DVD. It's called 20 Pattern and Sewing Myths Corrected. These are all kinds of little things that'll help you, but you got to promise that once you listen to it, you won't let it affect you. You'll really, truly get rid of all that. Is that a deal? All right, and the key word on this, are we ready for that? Okay, so here's what you do. You're going to type in the word that I give you, and the computer will select a winner. Only do it once. If you put it in twice, the computer will disqualify you, so don't do that. And then the winner, whoever you are, you'll just shoot me an email that said, I won the Miss DVD. Here's my address. Please send, and we'll ship it out tomorrow. And I'm sorry about this cough, you guys. I'm still getting over the flu. Okay, so this one, the keyword is myths. M-Y-T-H-S. M-Y-T-H-S. Again, only type it in once. Yes. Can you turn around? You can see the back? I can. Only type it in once, and then that's it. Let the computer do the rest, but everybody type it in. And I will turn around to the back so you guys can see the back. And you can see what I did, if you can hear me still, is I put the selvages all on the bottom. Now, the fun thing about doing that is simply that it's fun. It's a great edge. But the other fun thing about doing it is you don't have to hem it at the end. So you finish maybe 5 minutes faster than what you would if you went ahead and, didn't do it. But again, the selvage on a lot of these wovens are so pretty, you really want to take advantage of them. Knits, not so much, but these wovens are really pretty. Okay, so I think we're at time to go ahead and go to the sewing machine. Again, Mary's wrap is what we're sewing. Now, what I did is I went ahead and cut out it ahead of time. So I cut out the 3 pieces. And I'm going to put my glasses on so I can see what I'm doing. There's only a front, a side, a front, a back, and a sleeve. There's only the 3 pieces. So that's the good news. Front, back, and sleeve. The front, the 2 things I would mark are, number 1, where the dart ends. I know where mine does on the cup size I'm using. And then I would mark where the button is. And I did that with a pin beforehand. And so the very first step you see it finishing. Now, because I've got a serger behind me, but because the cameras are a little more complex to turn around, we will turn around. But I went ahead and finished the edges. So I finished the edges along the neck and along the front. So you can just see those are done. So then the next step that we start on, and I hope y'all are either following your guides or following me. Are you sewing with me? Guys gotta let me know if you're sewing with me. This is easy enough that we can all have this done. We can all be wearing a Mary's wrap in the morning or tonight, either one. So I'm going to start with the French dart, and when I start... Oh, we're good? Oh, okay, good. We have a winner, you guys. And that winner is, do we know? This is of the Miss DVD. Green. What is it? Okay, sorry you guys. Greta, S-C-L-A-F-R-O-K, I think it is. Greta. There's probably not that many Gretas watching. Greta, you won. Just tell us where you are. Send me an email, and congratulations. Yay for Greta. All right, good deal. Okay, so I want to change to this camera. Can we do that to this camera at the sewing machine? Because I want you to see when I stitch this French dart, I get so many French dart questions. And I already started this one, so I'll show you on the other one. You just literally start at the point. And the reason you start at the point is because you want to do gradually, and you want to just gradually come on. So much easier to start at the point. I'll do the other one. I'm doing this one, but I'll start the other one again. But I can show you this one on the camera. All right, but what I did is I took 1 stitch off. Is that focused? Can they see that okay? It is. Okay, so I'll do the other side and then we can see how I did that. So, go ahead.
It's not perfect, but it's
okay, so you guys, one bad thing about these cameras is that we have a little bit of automatic focus going on. So sometimes when I go to do it, I'll hold still until we can see that it's into focus so that you can see what we're doing here. Again, I think there's some little things like this that are really important. So see, here's the tip of my dart. And when I go to sink my needle down, I'm going to sink it in 1 stitch off. See, right there I was off, And what that does is when you take a sewing machine and stitch one stitch off of the fabric, it'll tie a knot. It'll kind of knot itself. And that way, people always say, what do you do to the end of your French darts? Well, I don't do anything because you don't have to. Now, the other thing I've done, you know, like with the one I have on, I did them on a serger. So if you pretend that this needle is your left needle on the serger, you can take the whole thing and do it on this, you know, on the serger. Okay, so then I've got my, what kind of stitch? I have just a straight stitch. I know you guys, a lot of times your sewing machines will tell you to, you know, on a knit, to do all kinds of funky stuff. Don't do all that. Don't do that. Don't, just do a straight stitch. And I'm at a 3.5 straight stitch. And you can see my stitching is just beautiful. It doesn't miss anything on both sides. It's really pretty. Okay, so I've got my 2 darts done. Yay! Alright, what?
I caught you drinking.
Oh, it's my little water, you guys. I've got some water because my throat is not happy that we're going to talk for an hour. Okay, so it's all good. It'll be fine, but it's wanting to really retire tonight before it's time. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do, because it's a shawl collar, is we're going to prepare that shawl collar. So we do that by taking the 2 center back pieces, and they're clearly marked on your pattern. Now, if you don't have the pattern, it might be a little confusing where we are, because I'm literally just following the pattern. So for those of you who don't have a pattern, just know that, you know, once you have a pattern, you'll be fine. All right, so this is a 3/8 seam allowance. It's right at center back. And I'm going to stitch those 2 seams together. I would do this on the serger, but it doesn't have to be. The whole entire seam is going to be enclosed, so it makes absolutely no difference if it's on a serger or sewing machine. No difference at all. Okay, so what that did is it made like a little, I'm going to put it like that. You can see that it's got now this portion here. This is the shoulder seam, the back neck, and the shoulder seam. So it's made that little U-shaped thing. All right, so this is the center back. That seam that I just sewed, that sews to the center back. So, excuse me, I'm going to take the center back. What I do is I take the back, I fold it in half because this back of this top is on a fold, so you don't have anything that would indicate where the center back is, but I put it on a fold it in half, and then I put a little pin right there. So right here I put a little pin, and you line up the pin to that stitch right there. Okay, and just put those together. So this is right sides together. I'm at the front and the back. All right, now what you do is you can see that this is my, we'll go over here first. This is my shoulder seam. So I'm going to start at the outside, and I'll put front to back shoulder seam. And then I put a pin right there where the 2 come together. And then what you're going to do, not on the back, but on the front, you're actually going to give it a little clip. And that clip is only 3/8 inch in, like even a little shy of 3/8, not even 3/8. Because what you're going to do is it's going to change stitching from that direction to the back neck. And you're also going to stitch down the back neck. Is there a benefit of starting at the tip, at the dart? I think so. I always compare it to drivers on the freeway. Like, you know, they're in the left-hand lane and all of a sudden they figure out that they got to get off. And so they don't care how dangerous it is. They just get off on the exit, and the exit's on the right. So to me, when you start at the bigger part of the dart, you see that you're going to miss the tip, and you get to the tip, it's just that dart just looks terrible. I mean, it just looks terrible. So that's kind of my analogy. When you start at the tip, then it goes much, much smoother. I think. Again, I've been a long advocate of doing that. You know, I know for many years you guys have sewn not at the tip, but I think it sews better, just personally. All right, and then the other questions I've got, you always sew from the point of the sides. Oh yeah, I said yes to that. Okay. The 3.5 stitch length must be key to the straight stitch on knits. It must be key. Well, I think that it makes a difference. Yes, I don't know. You know, I mean, I think it's all good. I don't know what you guys typically use, but I've seen some ladies in classes use, you know, kind of what their machine tells them to do, and the stitch looks terrible. So I would, you know, but I can't tell you across the board because I don't know your machines. Okay, now on a, I'm sewing the, when you're sewing a shawl collar, you got to sew from the collar side up. So the back is down against the machine because you've clipped to points. Now, just for the sake of time, it was just a little faster to just not pin the whole entire thing. So you can see that there's my clip. And once I hit that clip mark, I leave my needle down and I change directions. And I've got this all pinned together. And so you can see that it kind of gets crumpled under the machine. But once you pivot it and change directions, you're really just sewing a straight seam that goes from shoulder across the back neck to the opposite shoulder. I mean, the diagram and the pattern on this is extremely good. I just feel like everyone has a little bit of a, or many have a little bit of a nervousness about seeing it. So I just really wanted to show you this so that the good old shawl collar didn't stop anybody from really doing it. So you can see that if I pull this back, it's going to line up. So I'm not even going to pin this side. Remember that the shawl collar, when it is done, it's completely covered. There's my corner right there, so that's where I'm going to clip. And it shows those clips really clearly in the guide sheet. And so once I get to that clip, that's when I change directions. And remember, if it's your first time doing it, or if you're not doing it the best, it's always covered, you guys. No one can ever see it because the collar actually folds over it. And I don't think anybody's going to come up to you and roll your shawl collar over to see how good your stitch is. And you know what I say, if they are, you either kiss them or slap them. Okay, that's the deal. Okay, so there's that seam and it's all done. Now, because in this particular pattern, this collar is going to come over and cover, it's going to cover the center back seam, I would serge that seam. You don't want to serge it initially because it's an exactly sewn seam and the serger just can't get it exactly to, I mean, I guess it could if you were good enough, but I'm not good enough. So I always sew it on a sewing machine and then I run it on the serger, and what I do is I go this way on the serger and then I cross my stitching and go that way across the neck edge, and then I go that way across the other shoulder seam. And that way you've got all of the angles done and they're finished. All right, so that's that part. Now in the guide sheet, the next step, what it does is it shows this portion coming over and covering this, and it stitches that down. Okay, and so I'm just going to stitch from that portion right there. It's just between the shoulders, it is all it is. And really what that does is it holds the collar down and kind of gives it a little ability to stay rolled. These seams right here are going to go to the back, so I always push them down and just stitch right there on top. I would typically do a little back stitch. Do you use a ballpoint needle to stitch knits in the sewing machine? I use these, the needles we sell. They're orange needle, and they're 70-10. I don't know if they're ballpoint, to be honest, but I just know that I swear every time I go to another machine or needle to see if it's any good, it just breaks so easily that I just get really frustrated. So I love these needles that we have, and they're just at least a third the price of, you know, many of the needles out there. But they are 70-10. They're universal. They're for any sewing machine. They're any serger. I use them in both. What was that other question? I missed that, Benjamin. Is your machine also a serger? No, this is a sewing machine. My serger is behind me. That's probably what I'm probably saying that confusing. Okay, so there's our little neckline. It's just adorable. And so the next step is to put in the sleeves. See how easy this is, you guys? We're almost done. So we do want to change to the serger when we go to put in these sleeves. We could put them in by sewing machine, but I think I want you all to learn to do sleeves on the serger, because so many of you don't, because you're nervous. So I think that'll be a positive for you to see. You don't necessarily need to see it close up. I'll try really hard to describe what I'm doing, and we'll put in those sleeves. Once we put in the sleeves, we press and we finish it up. Walk in the park, right, you guys? This is really, you know, the main reason this was our pattern of the month was in our fitting workshops. We're going to Seattle and Dallas and Anaheim, and we're doing yoga pants and we're doing sweater sets, you know, the little shells. Those are two things, and this is just a great topper. It's just a great fun topper. Okay, all right, so we're gonna now, I'm gonna switch around, turn around here, and I've got my, I'll put it on the mannequin here once I finish so that you can see it. So the shawl collar's all done, and what I'm going to do is put in the sleeve. That shoulder seam, I have a tendency, I'll pin it back just so that I don't, you know, make sure it goes the right way. And then I folded my sleeve in half and I put a pin at the top, at the cap. So I want to make sure that I line up. So the goal here is to put the sleeve down. So start at the side, the underarm. Okay, there it is. I'm going to put the sleeve down against the feed dog, and I'm going to just pull, and I just get it started, and then make sure those two pins are together. One's holding the seam to the back, and one pin is at the cap, right in the middle of the sleeve. And your goal is to make sure those edges of the fabric are together, and your next goal is to not run over the pins, because you all know sergers do not like pins. Alright, so right there I'm going to just kind of look ahead and take them out, because I'm matching nicely, and that's what I want. Right, and then again, now this is a curved edge, and a lot of women have asked me, well, how do you do a curved edge on a serger? You're just going to make the stuff over here, you can see it's kind of piled up. Once I secure that, I'm going to look ahead and I'm going to line up these two pieces. So you can see that I'm kind of making this straight while this over here is piled up, so that the curved seam can actually go straight in through the serger. Alright, I'll take a little look at that. We'll see that it's just perfect. Just perfect. Now before, you know, we do the side seam, we're going to want to press those seams, because we're going to want to press the seams into the body of the garment. So I don't do anything at this point. I do go ahead and I put the other sleeve in so that we can just press it one time. I mean, even if there's no one here watching, I don't, you know, I wait until I do both of them before I get up and press. And I'm not sure if you can call it lazy or efficient, but it's one of those two. So do you always use a straight stitch on knits? Always. I never, ever, ever use a zigzag. It's not a zigzag, it's a straight. How much fabric for the vest made long? I would say I use 2 for the short, so I would give yourself another yard. I would say 3. Yeah, and that fabric's on sale for $7.99, you guys. So this is the time to get a really good deal. Do you use the same needles for your sewing machine and your serger? I do. I do. Same. It's in this drawer and the camera's in front of it, but I have the little box of orange needles. It's on the side under Notions, you guys. They're just, they come in a pack of 100. I think they're $30. So when you do the math, what is that? 30 cents a needle? 100 needles for $30? Yeah, it's like 30 cents a needle. You pay like $1 a needle. You pay more than that. Because these are a really good price. And they're really good needles. So just FYI. Alright, so again, I'm going to line that up. The sleeve goes down against the feed dog. Down, down, down. Then after this, we're just going to give it a press, and then we'll finish it up. Alright, so again, just kind of keep it straight. Make sure you got both pieces together. One of the edges of the fabric will have a tendency to want to pull away. You're the sewer, don't allow that, because you want to keep those edges even. One's concave and one's convex, so they'll have a natural tendency to just kind of pull away from each other. And if you do, let them get away, one line gets longer and one line gets shorter. So be sure you kind of keep those edges even. Okay, and then again, just find your mess here.
So it's the same.
Sorry?
It's the same needle used in size 10.
Did you say that you use orange size 10 needle? It's a 70-10. Yes, I use them in the serger too. It's a 70-10 is what it is. It's the same needle I use with my leather. I use the same needle, period. End of story. I'll tell you something funny, you guys. Or I thought it was funny. Over the holidays, I made my sons, people in my family anyway, made them these little cozy bowls. I think you guys, if you've heard of cozy bowls, they're just little like cotton bowls. They're batted. They're like shaped pot holders. And, you have one layer and then batting and then batting and then another layer. Anyway, you're constructing this bowl. It's kind of like a hot pad with darts. I think that's why I loved it, because it had darts all over the place. Okay. Are you using the differential feed on your serger? No, I don't. I don't ever use the differential feed on my serger on any of my machines, you guys. I want to be the one who's, telling the machine what to do rather than it telling me what to do. But anyway, so these cozy bowls, you guys, where the seams met, like, cotton, you had cotton and batting and batting and cotton. I probably broke 5 needles. Like, I've never broken that many needles in all my years of sewing. And these cozy bowls, I kept breaking needles. And I kept thinking to myself, for quilters, this is way harder than sewing. So just an FYI, you guys, this sewing is way easier than quilting. My cozy bowls especially. All right, let's go to the ironing board. And we could have, while I'm pressing this, do you want to do another giveaway? Benjamin, do you think we're ready to do that? Okay, so when you do press these, you're going to put the iron here. And what you're going to do is just press these sleeve seams right into, I can press on this other side. You're going to press them right into the body of the garment, away from, just away. And are we ready for that keyword? Or you tell me when we're ready.
We're ready.
Okay, so the keyword for this next one, you guys, and remember, don't put it in twice. If you put it in twice, you're going to get eliminated. Is basic. Basic. B-A-S-I-C. It's the basic pattern making video. It is, $50. So basic.
Show on video.
Oh, sorry, show on video. Yes. basic pattern making. And again, the computer here will pick someone, and I'll press while you guys are doing that. And what I do then is, once I do it on the right side, I mean on the wrong side, I'm sorry, I turn it over, and I just let the end of my board and the weight of the ITY, press that nice seam. And that's it. That's the one. And then I'll do my other. Look at my cute little jacket. It's adorable. Not really a jacket. My little wrap. Mary's wrap. Alright, we'll do that. And then we'll switch it over. And like I said, I always do the one side. I kind of put it at the end of my board. Let the board just kind of be your one that holds it in place. Just easy, easy, easy. Alright, so now all we've got left is we've got the side seams. And since we've got the serger, we might as well just go ahead and do that on the serger. Remember, it's a knit. You don't really have to do anything on the serger. It'll, it doesn't need to be finished. But we're going to go ahead and do it on the serger since we've got it. And I just start at the underarm seam. And then go all the way to the side. I'm kind of a crazy person with these tails. So I have a tendency to cut them right after I stitch them. The only thing you want to do is just make sure that your sides, your underarm seams there are lining up. Both of your seams should be, you run over them. They basically will be going toward the hem. And then look ahead and then just line up the side seam. That's about it, guys. When I was in high school, I used to work at a fabric store. How often do you change your needle? I've heard you change your needle for each new garment. Only if you own stock in the needle companies. Do not do that. I change a needle when it breaks. If it breaks, then I need a new needle because it won't work anymore. What kind of iron do you have? That is a Rowenta steam generator. I don't know. I used to know the number, but I don't. Several people have asked me the number on emails, and I just don't remember the emails. But I can tell you something. I think it's not expensive. You can get it at Bed Bath & Beyond and use their little coupon. They're great at giving away those coupons. They're really actually a bug about giving away those coupons, and you can get a good price on it. But I think it's purple, kind of purplish.
Does microsteam 400 mean?
Microsteam what? 400? I don't know.
No.
I just don't know if it's. I think the model number is in the 800s, I think. Alright, just make sure your underarm seams don't pass there. And then once you've cleared that, align the bottom. And make sure that's even. French dart, you want to make sure it's so then the only things I have left are I have the button to put on, but I'm going to actually put on my mannequin. I have to hem my sleeves and hem the bottom unless you use a selvage. But because knits don't have selvage, I didn't use a selvage. So I'm going to put on the mannequin, you guys, and we can look at it. I'll cover this ironing board. The problem with the ironing board is it's so light and white that when you see it, you don't see anything else. Announce that we're ready to roll. Oh. Oh. Did we win? Did we have a winner? We have a winner. Perfect. Sorry, I never know when to say it out loud or when to. Sam Dumas. Sam Dumas. Sam, you made the pants too long. That's a song. Alright, so we're going to put our little, here we've even got a little sleeve here, so we'll put her arm down here so that we can do that in the sleeve. That is adorable. And just note, now see, I pinned where these sleeves, where the buttons are, so that I actually don't have to try it on when I go to make mine. I can just put where the buttons are. But in this case, it just depends on, you know, kind of how you want to do it. I did put, I love these big black buttons. We've got them on the fabric page, but you can see, you can actually, you don't have to really put anything. You can just let it hang down like that. Is that adorable? The fabric is just cute as can be. So that's the back. And I did pay attention when I was laying it out to how the pieces would be, and I love how this piece was going across like that. So, you know, it's fun when you have a print like this to kind of pay attention to where it's going. Don't drive yourself crazy, but it's kind of fun to pay attention. And then again, I just got this big black button there. Looks pretty good, huh? And it doesn't even take a half an hour. That was fast. And I was talking all the time. What I was going to say, you guys, is when I was in high school, I used to work at a fabric store, and I would come home with remnants, you know, those good old days when they had remnants, and then I would sew something new up for school the next day. And so every day I had something new to wear to school for a quarter. It was only, you know, it was really cheap, or a dime, just depending on how much the remnant was. So this is the same thing. You can see, you could make several of these if you're traveling, and, you know, you could make them really glitzy and really fancy. You could make them out of that stretch velvet. I mean, we have so many great fabrics. I could probably make 20 and just show you all these fabrics, but use your imagination. Anything that's knit, or if you're going to do a vest, do the woven, and it's really, really easy. How many inches longer is the vest that you are wearing? 0. I cut this exactly as the pattern. Exactly as the pattern. I didn't lengthen that. This is shorter than the top that I have on. The top I have on is longer. If a woven is used to make this garment, just an armhole change is needed. I cut the armhole on a blouse. So I guess you could use it on a knit, but I thought it would just be a little bit too small. So I used a blouse armhole and just laid my blouse armhole there and cut it so it's a little bit lower is what I did. You're not going to put a sleeve on. You could put knit sleeves onto a woven body. That's the next step of fun things you could do with this top. Do the sleeves include enough ease to wear over a top with long sleeves? No, but you could just go to you just switch out sleeves. Just go to a larger sleeve and use the larger armhole that goes with it. You know, just kind of play Mr. Potato Head with your armholes and sleeves. If you're going to wear a long sleeve shirt underneath it, go up a size or go up 2 sizes. And then you'll have enough room to do that with. You guys know how to do that. Yes? Are we good? Wow, no questions. And we had 2 winners. We gave away both videos. Don't forget, if you won, to email me and tell me your address just to make sure we have it. We'll get the videos mailed out to you. Nancy, again, thank you for giving them free. So, is it fun to be back? It's fun to be back. It's fun to be back. It really is. It's been a fun day. The guys have really worked hard to have all this camera stuff so that you could see closely. We really want to do sewing this year, and I want you to be able to see. So I told them that I would tape the camera to my forehead, and they decided that probably wasn't a good idea. So they came up with some better ideas. So I really appreciate them behind the scenes. Can you try on the stripe one, please? I would like to see how the bottom part of it looks on. Sure. I'm going to take this off. This is my woven one. With the stripe one, you guys, I have not put the little, you know, I think that this is cute as a cowl, personally. So I haven't put the little, I sewed the button on, but I want to put a little, I'll show you when I put this on what I want to do. What pattern is the black top you're wearing? That's the sweater set. It's just a sweater set. It's just cut long. Curved at the bottom is all. You guys, I have made so many little cashmere tops because I've gone fanatic on cashmere that I have found that I just really, really like it. Okay, so what I think when I did this, and I really, really liked it, but I think that this needs to come up here and be worn like so. So like, you know, underneath. And then I put the button at the very end so that it would come up and be done like so. So I'm going to put a little, just a little, I don't want a snap, but I want like a little button with a little loop over it. So it just loops on. And so in the front here, you get like a little cowl look. And then it goes down, and there's the back. Okay. Can you see that, you guys? Stripes and cameras are never a good thing. I'm not even allowed to wear stripes on PBS because the camera doesn't like stripes. It does funny things with stripes. But you kind of get an idea, and you can't really see this cowl right here. But sort of. Okay? Okay, so that's our stripes going both directions ways. But again, if we go back to the picture, the Acris one that we showed you, there's one other picture I just wanted to show you guys, just in passing. You could wear it open. I really liked it open as well. The Acris one was worn open. Let me just get this pin out of here. Try to. Is $195 the base for Mary's wrap? It is, yes. So your shoulder angles, you know, really there's not a whole lot to change. See, I really like it open like that. I like it both ways, but really like it open. And then you can see what it looks like when it's open. Okay. There's a picture that I wanted to show you that I have. Yes. Okay, Miss Kate, our favorite person in the whole wide world. I want you to look at that dart. We've talked a lot about darts, and we've talked a lot about what is right and what is wrong. It is not wrong to have a bust dart above a bust as long as it's within the bust circle. As long as it's within the bust circle. So technically, when you look at this dart, and the dart's going, you know, the seam is literally going above her bust point, it's not wrong, but I wanted you to see how bad it looks. And sewers particularly are very aware of it. I know I fit women all the time in classes, and if a dart gets too close to the bust point, you know, most of us say, it's too close, it's too close. And I think that's probably a good thing. I just wanted to say to all of us, kind of continue that trend. It is a good thing to not get too close. Kate clearly got too close here. I'm really surprised that this would go and get out and be shown this way. It's just wrong. That is wrong because it actually goes right through a bust point. But anyway, just wanted you to see, be aware, darts are great things. They are friends. Just don't go into the bust point. Keep them in the bust circle. If in doubt, go away rather than close. All right, that's our New Year's resolution. How's that? All right, so we're going to say good night. We have a few minutes if anyone needs to ask questions. We're going to see you in 2 weeks. It'll actually be February by then. And because I got sick and we weren't here last week, we would have been here next week. But just the way a few things have worked out, it's going to be better for us to just keep on to 2 weeks from tonight. So we're going to. So 2 weeks from tonight, it'll put us into February. We're going to do the February POM. And then 2 weeks after that, we'll do the, well, it doesn't matter. 2 weeks from now, we'll do the February POM, okay? We'll just keep it at that. Thanks so much for being here. We have a new YouTube for you on Thursday also. We're just back. We're back. And we're glad you are as well. Thanks for watching. Thanks for being here. And we'll see you in 2 weeks. Bye.